In the southernmost part of Africa lies a country whose history is soaked in pain, resistance, and ultimately, victory. This is the story of South Africa, a land where people were divided by the color of their skin, a land where freedom was stolen, and a land where Africa came together to fight for justice. Long before colonization, South Africa was home to proud and thriving people. The San and Khoikhoi lived close to nature, while powerful kingdoms like the Zulu and Xhosa built strong societies. But everything changed in 1652 when the Dutch East India Company arrived. At first it was just a refreshment station, but soon it became a settlement. Land was taken, people were pushed aside, and the foundation of oppression was laid. The British took control in the early 1800s, bringing new laws, new conflicts, and deeper divisions. Wars broke out between indigenous Africans, Dutch settlers, Boers, British forces. By 1910, South Africa became a union under British control. But there was one major problem. Black South Africans, the majority, had no power. In 1948, everything became worse. A system called Apartheid was introduced. This was not just discrimination, it was legalized oppression. Black people were forced to live in separate areas, denied quality education, restricted from good jobs, banned from voting. Families were separated, communities were destroyed, and hope seemed lost. But even in darkness, resistance was born. The African National Congress, ANC, rose to challenge apartheid. Leaders emerged: Nelson Mandela, Oliver Tambo, Steve Biko. They organized protests, strikes, and campaigns, but the government responded with brutality. Mandela was arrested, many were killed, others were forced into exile. Still, the fight did not stop. Now, this is where the story changes. South Africa was not alone. Across the continent, African nations stood up. The Organization of African Unity declared, "Apartheid must fall." Nigeria became one of the strongest voices against apartheid, funded liberation movements, gave scholarships to South Africans, provided financial aid, led global campaigns. Nigeria didn't just speak, Nigeria acted. Tanzania and Zambia opened their doors. They became safe havens for freedom fighters. ANC leaders planned their resistance from these countries. Training camps were built. Strategies were formed. Hope was kept alive. Angola and Mozambique provided military support. They allowed guerrilla training, military bases, armed resistance. These countries risked their own stability just to fight injustice. African countries took the struggle to the global stage. Through the United Nations, they pushed for economic sanctions, trade bans, diplomatic isolation. Slowly, South Africa became cut off from the world. The pressure grew. The system began to crack. After decades of struggle, something changed. In 1990, the unthinkable happened. Nelson Mandela was released after 27 years in prison. The world watched. Negotiations began. And in 1994, history was made. South Africa held its first democratic elections. For the first time, black and white voted together. Mandela became president. Apartheid was finally over. This was more than a victory for South Africa. It was a victory for Africa. A reminder that when Africans stand together, no system of oppression can survive. From Nigeria to Tanzania, from Zambia to Angola, Africa proved one thing: unity is power. Apartheid did not fall by chance. It fell because a continent refused to stay silent. If you enjoy the story and want more stories like this, subscribe to the channel at Africa Folktales, Movies and Storytelling.